Let's see how you can use plots in Pandas. The first thing you want to do is import a data frame and also import the Pandas library. So I'm gonna be writing here pandas as pd. That's how you import pandas. Let's run this. Second step, specify the data frame you wanna be running around with. For most of these plots, you will need a data frame with numeric values. So I specify this specific data frame. You can also specify yours. If you do not have any data frame, pause the video, copy paste this code and run it. First and most simple plot you can do, run .plot function. Use the name of your data frame, .plot. Let's check it out. And you can see here that by default the plot function only cares about the age column. On the y-axis, on the x-axis we have some dummy values, and the z-axis we see the values of y. We can also do that more implicitly just in case we have multiple numeric variables. What you do is actually use the brackets to access only the specific column you want to plot. Okay, so here you can see exactly the same plot. Okay, so now let's specify that we want the index to be. So now we're gonna specify the index. So we are gonna be using the first column, the column of name, equals to an index, and we are gonna be doing this in place. Okay, now let's plot the data frame again, and we can see here that each element on the x-axis actually has the index by default. So now our index is the specific row index. So this row has this value, this row has this value, and this row has this value. Great, let's move on. I'm gonna be specifying a second, a little bit different data frame. Instead of the column sex, I'm gonna be adding a height column with some more numeric values. So in your case, you wanna be having at least a data frame with 2 numeric features to go along. You can also specify this one. Pause the video, run it down, and continue running the code. Now, what we want to do is actually see how these 2 numeric features are being plotted on a 2D axis. So what we are gonna be doing is using the function scatter. So let's check it out. You use df.plot, and from the plots you wanna access the scatter plot, which is a different kind of plot compared to this, let's say, line plot. First, you specify the column at the x-axis, and also you can specify the column at the y-axis. And the alpha is just for the coloring, putting a little bit less stable colors. And here you can see a plot in the 2D axis, meaning we have x and y axes, and we can see for each element the combination of height value and age value. Lovely. We can also have an alternative view by using the box function. So the box function is a great function if you want, to get some statistics for each column. So this green line is usually the median value. This is the quantiles, 25%, 75%, and this is the 5% and the 95%. So it also gives you some confidence intervals. Also, bear in mind that if you run this in a Python file and not a notebook, what you want to do is use .plt.show to show the plot. And you want to be importing matplotlib.pyplot to do that. However, if you use notebooks or Google Colab, this is done by default. But let's see an example. So what you're going to be doing is import matplotlib.pyplot as plt, specify a plot and get the figure and the axis. Again, we want to plot the age value, and I'm going to be checking about an area plot, which I really don't know what it does, but let's check it out. And specify the axis using the AEX argument equals to the axis of the plot we want to be showing. Then you can specify also a label for the y-axis, and we are going to be equaling it to a string called value, and then use plt.show. Let's check this out. Boom, so this is an area plot. Okay, so we have the value, we have an area, which could be seen like an integral, and we also on the y-axis we have the indexes for each value. Lovely stuff. Okay, so let's write it for the height column as well. So we're going to be creating a new plot the new area using the new axis. And okay, so we can see here the trend for the height. Lovely. And one other thing you want to be doing is plotting both those variables inside the same plot. So you can see here that age will be blue and height will be orange. And we can see here how those two values go about. So this is a very great way to find correlations. Let's say, for example, if those values were both uptrending or downtrending, this is a correlation. So this is how you want to be plotting about using pandas.